AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun. Congressman Jamal Bowman says capitalism is slavery by another name. No, it's not. It's the thing that has given more people more prosperity and hope than any other system, flawed though it surely is. But again, something like the free market is kind of synonymous with America. And if you don't like it, I don't know how you can say you love this country. You know who loves this country? You know who's not constantly complaining about what happened 200 years ago and who's not obsessed with seeing America through shit-colored glasses and shaking off the stench of what irredeemable privileged assholes we are? Immigrants.
Bill Maher has increasingly focused his criticism on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, warning that if she becomes the future face of the Democratic Party, it could seriously damage the party's chances with mainstream voters. Maher argues that Democrats previously ignored warning signs surrounding Kamala Harris and paid a political price for it. Now, he believes AOC represents an even more radical direction that could push the party further away from moderate Americans.
AOC, Mandani are not Democrats. They'll be the first to tell you that. They're democratic socialists, and that's a very different thing, and I don't think people know that yet. I don't think people realize we already have a lot of socialism. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, unemployment insurance, food stamps, veterans benefits, Pell Grants, COVID-era payments, farm subsidies, disability payments, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, corporate bailouts, and the jobs program that is building weapons the Pentagon doesn't even want.
Maher also points to AOC's growing alliance with Zohran Mamdani in New York City. Their support for expanded childcare programs, sanctuary city policies, and criticism of immigration enforcement reflects what Maher sees as a broader shift towards socialism. While he supports helping families and children, he argues that America already has social safety nets in place and warns that moving too far toward government-controlled systems could create serious long-term problems.
The DSA are radicals about this concept, and radical economic policy is always ineluctably married to radical social policy. Their platform, for example, calls for completely open borders. They're for what Biden was doing, but more. You think you're going to win an election on that? This just seems like more extremism at a time when Americans are begging both parties, please, could just one of you act normal?
According to Maher, AOC stands in sharp contrast to Joe Biden. He views Biden as a traditional moderate who still believed in borders, restrictions, and institutional stability, even if imperfectly. In Maher's opinion, AOC and her progressive allies embrace a far more radical vision on immigration and economic policy, representing a major ideological shift within the Democratic Party.
Okay, I say the next time we have debates, the moderator needs to frame that question a little differently, as say something about America that you like, because honestly, I don't know why the people who are fighting for this country so hard even want it anymore.
Maher also criticizes what he sees as AOC's constant negativity toward America. He argues that constructive criticism is important, but believes AOC often portrays the country as fundamentally broken no matter what policies succeed or improve people's lives. He contrasts healthy accountability with what he sees as reflexive outrage, suggesting that many voters interpret this tone as hostility toward the country itself rather than an attempt to improve it.
A country that started out bad and will always be bad, founded on an unrelenting history of sucking and unable to change. But we have changed a lot. Democrat Cori Bush tweeted, "This land is stolen land and black people still aren't free." And this was on the 4th of July. Really? Not that I give a shit about the 4th of July. I've never been a rah-rah guy. But I am a perspective guy. And that's what too much of the left has lost, perspective.
Another issue Maher raises is what he considers exaggerated political rhetoric from some progressives. He points to comments claiming black Americans are not free in the United States and argues that such statements ignore the progress and opportunities available in modern America. In his view, constantly framing the nation as oppressive weakens unity and creates a distorted image of reality.
72% of black people under 30 are optimistic about their future in America. Way more than white people the same age. And as far as the land goes, yes, I guess we could change the name of Captain America to Captain Stolen Land. But honestly, to all the people who start every public event now with one of those land acknowledgments where they say, "I'm standing on land that was stolen from the proud indigenous people of the Chumash tribe," I say either give it back or shut the fuck up.
Maher further argues that politicians like AOC often rely on symbolic gestures rather than practical solutions. He uses land acknowledgement speeches as an example, saying they may sound meaningful but rarely result in actual policy changes or improvements for indigenous communities. According to Maher, symbolism without action risks becoming political theater rather than genuine leadership.
AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun. Congressman Jamal Bowman says capitalism is slavery by another name. No, it's not. It's the thing that has given more people more prosperity and hope than any other system, flawed though it surely is.
Maher also rejects the claim that America broadly hates women simply because candidates like Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris lost elections. He argues that voters are generally more concerned with economic issues, border security, and leadership ability than gender. From his perspective, reducing election losses entirely to sexism oversimplifies complex political realities.
But again, something like the free market is kind of synonymous with America. And if you don't like it, I don't know how you can say you love this country. You know who loves this country? You know who's not constantly complaining about what happened 200 years ago and who's not obsessed with seeing America through shit-colored glasses and shaking off the stench of what irredeemable, privileged assholes we are? Immigrants.
Another criticism Maher makes is what he sees as inconsistency from progressive activists. He argues that many voices now portraying America as deeply oppressive were far less critical when Democrats controlled the White House under Biden. In his view, the sudden shift in tone suggests that much of the outrage is politically motivated and tied more to power than principle.
Ask any of them why they came here, and they will tell you the same thing. Ron DeSantis put me on a plane. But they will also tell you that America, for all that's so shitty about it right now, is still the last best hope. And those people asking for our votes to take it over should remember that.
Ultimately, Maher believes immigrants often show a deeper appreciation for America than some activists born in the country. He points out that many immigrants risk everything for the opportunity to live in the United States because they value its freedoms and opportunities. To Maher, that contrast highlights why many Americans reject rhetoric that paints the nation as fundamentally hopeless or irredeemable.